welcoming to the Rhema studio, Davina West. Davina, kia ora. Nice to have you in the Rhema studio.
Good morning, Andrew.
Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. Davina is a part of the show. Thoughts and comments with Andrew Urquhart, brackets. This wouldn't be possible without Davina's help as the producer of the show. So just wanting to put that out there. But talk to us about your own perceptions of motherhood and what that looks like. Talk to us about your mum, Davina.
Oh my gosh. So my mother is amazing, and she is a quiet hero. And I've been blessed in my life to have a whole tribe of wahine toa.
Yeah.
Women's really strong women, not necessarily loud and strong, but quietly strong as well in my life, from my grandmothers to my aunts and my godmother. So I've been really blessed with some excellent
that's
role
quite the
models.
legacy, but that can sometimes be a little bit intimidating. You know, that's a lot to measure up to. Of this is what it means to be a matriarch in our family.
Oh my goodness.
Is there a bit of pressure with that as well?
I have no aspirations at this stage to be a matriarch.
No, okay. This is aspirational. This is not now. Okay, sorry about that.
But no, for sure. Looking up to people, but also seeing their humanity, because they're not perfect by any means, but how they cope with their imperfections and go to God in their imperfections has been really inspirational. And that's especially true of my mother, who has had some pretty big challenges in her life, from health challenges, and just even her bravery in emigrating to New Zealand ahead of my father and my brother.
Wow.
And me, she's incredible.
That's all I want to say. Is fantastic. Hey, as I mentioned in the introduction, not everybody's journey leads to motherhood, and that can be difficult. But and honestly, that's not everybody's path. Not everybody chooses that for themselves either. For you, though, as a young girl growing up, was that where things were pointing? Was that where your heart was at? Hey, this is part of who I want to be.
I'm not sure that it necessarily was, because my first ambition was to be a nun, but I blame that on Maria from Sound of Music. But alongside that, I was telling God, look, if I can't be a nun, maybe I'll be an astronaut. Okay. So I really didn't have a clear calling to that.
No, hey, both of those things are great callings. Just wanting to say that, and shout out to Sound of Music there. Your journey to becoming a mum, and hey, if I ask anything awkward and you don't want to answer, just push back on this, but would it be fair to say that your journey to motherhood began a little bit later than some people?
Yeah, super fair. So even getting married, the vocation of marriage, it was something that I actually not conceded, but I had to give it up to God. Okay. So we all want to be in relationship in some way or another. And, I had some excellent role models around me, as I said, but meeting my husband came later in life. Yeah. And I had actually by that point gone to God, okay, God, I'm not going to go
not going to be an astronaut.
So hard, not going to be an astronaut, not going to be a nun, I don't think. I don't know if I'm cut out for it. Yeah. But I had thought that I might get married, but if that's not in your plan for me, I'm actually giving that up to you now.
Now, this was almost instant family for you, and wanting to touch on this as well, because on the day that you got married, and I was at the wedding, by the way, it was a fantastic event, but your husband had a child from a previous relationship. You became a stepmom on the day you got married. That's perhaps becoming a mum earlier than you expected?
Yeah. So having, going from, I don't know if marriage is in the cards for me, and maybe singleness is my vocation, to God blessing me with this incredible man who's a ray of sunshine and an amazing father. And I was like, wow. Now we were serious from the start. There's no play around here. Yeah. If we are going to start dating, we have to be serious about it and look at the future as well, because there's a child involved in this already. And so we were very conscious of that fact, that above all costs, he has to be protected and honored. Yeah. So that had been part of our dating journey already. No, not much of a surprise. And, my brother joked, oh my gosh, so that takes the pressure off the rest of us to have children, because the parents already have grandchildren. So, my family has been a huge part of that too. Yeah. Because they have been so accepting and faith-focused on this, that God would be honored in this. And so, they've embraced our now 16-year-old boy. Yeah, wow. As one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is super cool as well. From there, I suppose, you have become a mum. You are a mum to 2 beautiful children, including your stepson as well. Talk to us about how that was, perhaps what the process of that was like, and how your expectation with your role models and everything of, hey, this is what a mum looks like, and the actual experience of what that looks like on a daily basis.
Yeah. So, having some amazing role models for mother figures in my life, and then coming into this knowing that, okay, I was going to be a stepmom, but still conscious of the fact that there are some boundaries there.
Yeah.
Because he does have his own mother. He's blessed. He
Yep.
has his own mother in his life. And I had spoken with my husband already. Look, if God does bless us with children, we have to be unified. We were both on the same page, unified as a family. So in my culture, in South Indian culture, the word for mum is amma.
Yeah.
And so from the get-go, from the first Mother's Day after we got married, my stepson called me amma. And it's such a treasure.
Yeah. Now,
And it's something that I don't ever want to take for granted.
yeah. No, sorry.
So no, it's a beautiful thing. It's thank you for the opportunity for this conversation, because it's a blessing, and so with that we were blessed with children quite early in our marriage. Thank you, Jesus, because I'm getting on in years, and the midwife actually wrote on my sheet, geriatric prima gravida, and I'm like,
wow.
excuse me. Geriatric.
This is. I mean, putting this in context, this is in your 30s. This isn't in your 80s.
Well, but there have been some excellent precedents, right?
Yeah,
Biblical precedents. So I was like, man, if Elizabeth can do it, so can I.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was a grace and a blessing, and we assured our stepson that, again, protecting his feelings, and just strengthening him and empowering him to be an amazing big brother, which he is, to our 2 beautiful children. And again, with unity, no half this, half that. We are just one family.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, all of your children are a credit to both of their parents, well, for all of their parents in that regard. For you, for this Sunday, of course, Mother's Day, what does that look like for you? I mean, with, there's, yes, you're a mum, but then there's your own mum.
Yeah.
So what will that look like this Sunday?
Well, with us, it always involves food.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, church, always. And giving thanks to God for the gift of motherhood in our lives, because it hasn't always been easy. It's not something we take for granted. I've got 2 babies in heaven as well.
Yeah.
So just remembering that and being thankful for who God has given us to love.
Yeah.
And giving up and accepting what his plans are for us, even if we don't understand it. So that's something we remember and pray about every Mother's Day. And so, yes, church and a good feast.
Yeah, well, Davina, thank you for your transparency. Thank you for sharing your journey to being a mum. Happy Mother's Day for you and your family this Sunday. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.